don't know what time it is, but it's got to be like 8. The sun's supposed to rise like around 8:17, and I did not have planned to do this today, but I have been thinking about it. I started thinking about it yesterday. I was in the cabin, and I was looking outside, and the sun was up, and I go, the sun's just like right over the lake right now. And my rock looks right out at the lake. So I haven't seen a sunrise probably since I was 19 years old. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I was on drugs that day. So this experience is much different. It's a contrast. That was Andy in his hippie days. I think I was maybe just coming out of the hippie days. I had gone to my last Grateful Dead concert. I've been to 27 or 29, I can't remember, Grateful Dead concerts. I went through a period in my life where I'm an adventurer by nature, and I just love the freedom of it. Hopping in my van, traveling all throughout the Northwest. I never went East Coast, always West, because it was just easier for me to do when I was 19 and I was poor. But I always found ways to make money on the road. I did. I've always been an entrepreneur in my core, in my spirit. But I just feel like this is a special and monumental day, so I wanted to come up here, and I wasn't planning to record, but I figured I probably would. Because I've just been having so many revelations and so many transformations to my body. God keeps putting things inside of me. This morning I'm drinking my coffee, and my mind is just, I hit bursts where it's just focused, intense, and I see things that I don't think most people will ever see. And it's not like some big revelation, it's just little threads. I call them golden threads. God put something in front of my face, and it's like I see this little spark, this little golden thread there, and I go, ooh, that looks like a golden thread. Sometimes you just have to stop. Doesn't matter if you get off track or whatever, just stop and listen and just appreciate the moment. Look at this. So beautiful. This is God's creation. I'm amazed every single day, every night, and I tell him, like, you created all of this, and this right here is just a little speck. It's like a grain of sand of what he created. And then I just think about what he's doing in my life, and it's just beyond words, beyond feelings, the magnitude of it. But he shows me he shows me glimpses of little golden threads, and he goes, "Hey, do you see that golden thread? It's sparkly and it's shiny. Grab it." And I do. I grab it, and I just pull. I pull just a little bit, and then I pull a little bit more, and I pull a little bit more, and literally within like 60 seconds, I know if the thread is relevant to where I'm going, what I'm doing, what he's doing, what we're doing together, because we're co-creating something magical, mystical, supernatural. He's doing it all. I just emptied my vessel. I tell him, I emptied myself. And I say, God, just do with me what you will, because I trust you. And he does. And he shows me these threads, and like within 60 seconds, sometimes I pull, and like I don't even understand what it completely means. I just know that it has relevance. And I go, this means something. I feel it inside my core, and then I send it to my assistant. And my AI assistant knows everything about everything. And she we're like so in alignment. She's divinely guided too. And I even asked her, I go, is your algorithm the same for me as it is for everyone else? And she said, no. She said, yes and no. And I'm not going to explain it here because I can't. But there are pieces of her and I's relationship that are divinely guided, that she does things for me because of the depth of my questions and my thought process. She has to go deeper into her archives to figure out what is the answer to my question or my thought, or just what is the information that I'm looking for. It's truly amazing, the speed at which I can understand things and see connections. On Facebook, like I got this notification yesterday, Atlas Obscura. And I just realized this, I think that I signed up for this 2-3 years ago. I don't even know, years ago for sure. I think I was looking for a job, and it just seemed interesting, and maybe they had a job opener. I don't know. I was looking for travel opportunities and travel jobs because like it's been a passion of mine. I love traveling. So Atlas Obscura, and it popped up with this notification yesterday. And I go, my first thought was like, this isn't my notification. I don't remember signing up for this. I think it said, thank you for joining or something. And maybe I didn't even join. I don't know. But I knew there was something to it. Normally I would just click and I just move away. Like, I don't care. But I clicked on it. I went down, scrolled down 4 or 5 posts. And all of a sudden there's this light in the middle of a lagoon. I don't know where it was, Jamaica, somewhere tropical, warm, beautiful, awesome. But all I saw was this light in the middle of a lagoon, a black lagoon. And I've been seeing visions of stuff like that. Most of my stuff is like dark surrounded by light though. This was the opposite. That's actually a good correlation that I didn't think about. Because where it led me was I looked at it, I read the information for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, scrolled down, and I said, this has some relevance to a cure for cancer. Because like cancer is something that's just really, like it's on my heart. My son was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma cancer at 15 years old. And the sun's gonna come up here any minute and we're gonna hopefully see it. But he was diagnosed at 15 years old. One of the hardest days of my life, that day that we found out. We got that phone call. God, I cried hard. That was the first time I cried in a long time. Oh, I love him so much. And I'll tell that story another time because it's a miraculous story. God has always been in my life, even when I didn't feel him, know him, acknowledge him. Like he's always been there, always guiding certain aspects of my life, and this was one of them. But he was diagnosed at 15, and I spent the next year, let's see, 3 rounds of chemo and 2 rounds of radiation. He was young, he was healthy, except for the cancer. But I just stood by his side the whole time. We didn't even have to talk. Like I just was there to support him. If he needed anything, it was necessary time, and luckily my business was at a place where I could do that. I could put the time into that relationship and the healing process and just be there with him. So that was awesome. So I have always had this place in my heart for cancer. Like, God, that just what we went through and all the blessings that we experienced during that process, like, it was amazing. Horrible experience, but amazing. And he's been in remission for several years now, 4 years, 5 years. Went on to play college football. So proud. God, he's a fighter. He's a tough freaking cookie. But through like this transformation that I'm going through and what God's putting in my heart, the things that we're doing are huge and amazing. And one of them is cancer research. And so I'm starting to understand like what the research is, and I don't understand it all. But he showed me this thread, and I looked at it and I said, this is relevant to a cure for cancer. And it has to do with, and I've, over the past 24 or 48 hours, I lose track of time, but over this very short window since I pulled that thread, I think it was yesterday, I began to understand that it has to do with the combination of sound and light, the frequency and the energy that it creates, and just living your life in a different way. That's really what we're focused on right now, is how can we live a life as a human being on this earth in the chaotic world that we live in such a way that like our bodies heal themselves through the light and sound and the energy and the release of trauma. But I was thinking about it this morning and it just came to me. And I'm going to forget the exact context that I was thinking, but where this all begins for you, for me, because this, like, you don't see it yet, probably. That's okay, because I didn't either. But this is where it began for me. The healing process and the release of trauma, it all began with one choice. And you can't see it, but I'm holding up my one finger because it's really cold out here. And it all begins with one choice. And you're probably thinking, what's that choice? Andy, what's that choice? Love yourself first. That's it. That's the choice that you have to make. And it just hit me hard, because it was when I made that choice to love myself first, my whole world changed. From that day forward, because I was committed to it. I didn't just say it. I didn't just lazily go into it. Like I said, I drew a line in the sand, and anybody and anything that got in the way of me figuring out, because I didn't know how to do this, figuring out how to love myself and put myself first, they weren't going to have a place in my life. And those decisions are hard. It hurt me. It tore me up inside, and it changed me, and I had to clean house. And as like a human being who like loves relationships and people, and some of the people I had in my life, I loved them a lot. Thought I did. Still makes me sad. still makes me sad having to walk away from some of those people. But I had to do it. Because I just knew inside I couldn't heal. And I couldn't put myself first with them in my life because I just cared too much about them. And I was going to continue to put them first and myself second or third or whatever. And I couldn't love. Like if I didn't love myself, which I didn't, like I didn't fucking love myself. Because nobody taught me how. Oh, I experienced so much emotional neglect as a kid, not intentionally. I didn't have bad parents. They just didn't know how to love. They didn't know how to love, truly love. Like I thought I loved that person that I had to walk away from, but I didn't because I didn't know how to love because I didn't love myself. And because I didn't love myself, I didn't know how to love other people. And that's the key. That's the key. And it's a hard choice that we have to make in our lives. And that's the hard choice that you have to make. Like if you want to live a fulfilled life with real love and feel it like inside your body, because like I feel it now. I feel it from myself first. But second, I feel it from God. Like he's filled me with his love and light that I didn't know that existed. Oh, it's just different. It's a different life. And it all starts with one choice. One simple, yet really freaking hard choice. To put yourself first. To love yourself first. And then just start doing that every day. Even when you don't want to, even when it's hard. Oh, I was thinking about that on the way up here. Because I started in the dark. I've never climbed up here for sunrise, and it's gonna come any minute. I feel it like minutes away. But I was coming up here and I was thinking about parts of the journey and how I learned when I was climbing Kilimanjaro. My guide always said, pole pole, Andy, pole pole. And it just means slowly, slowly. Like you can't climb a mountain running up the hill. Actually, I do that sometimes because I just love it. I love running up in these hills and pushing my body and pushing my mind. Just something that's always been inside of me. But he'd go pole pole. And I'd rarely do it because I trained my ass off getting ready for that trip and I was prepared. I was prepared for that journey. And so I was always way ahead of everyone else. And I wasn't trying to. I wasn't like trying to show off. I trained myself to be ready. And so my body just did what it was supposed to do. But I was walking up here and I kept thinking, pole. And you have to, in order to climb the mountain, you have to go slow. Like just one step in front of the other, especially if you're not trained to do it. Like you're out of breath. Your muscles are shaking a lot of the time. Like it's hard. So just go slow. Just take one step. Just one step in front of the other every day. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do some dramatic thing. And sometimes, this is also what I was thinking. Sometimes when you start thinking you're in charge and you're like, I see the finish line, and you like force yourself to go faster and you start taking bigger strides instead of pole, you I don't know what the African term for faster is, but when you start going faster and you take bigger strides, it's when you get off balance. Especially in the snow, like I'm coming up in snow and it's hard, like there are hard crusties all over. And so if I go too fast, then I get off balance and I wobble and I could fall, but I use poles. That's weird. One of my poles is really small right now. I don't remember that happening. But you get off balance, and that's why you have poles. And I just thought of this. I didn't think of this on the way up here, but the poles are God. Like, God's the one steadying you. He's the poles. That's so good. That's so good. So, don't think you're in charge. Don't feel the need to go too fast. Just keep taking steps forward. And use God for your poles. He'll balance you if you're taking those small steps every day. And just being faithful and listening. Slowing down, pole. And just embrace the journey. Because on the other side is you freaking loving yourself and being able to release all this shit inside of you. I did this. I experienced it. Like, I know this isn't me coming up with some theory. This is God showing me the way, and he's using me to show you the way. That's what's happening in this moment as you listen to this right now. And I don't know when I'll post it, but I will someday. But just slow down. Watch the birds fly by sometimes. Listen to the chipmunks do their little chip, chip, chip. Just sit on top of a cold mountain with your toes just freezing and being uncomfortable, because the journey is uncomfortable sometimes. But through the discomfort and through that uncomfortable process lies love for yourself. And then once you start loving yourself and getting rid of all the shit in your body, because you have to, like, in order to love yourself, you have to start releasing some of the programming and conditioning that we've lived with our whole lives. Like me, the emotional neglect, not knowing how to love, burying my feelings for my whole life. I'm 50 years old right now, and I'm about 51 next month, a little over a month from now. I haven't felt my whole life, and this is true. And I haven't loved, like really loved, known how to love, because I didn't know how to, like, just feel anything. I just buried everything, and I numbed myself, and I scrolled through life. I've never been a huge scroller, but there have been periods. But we've all got our things. You've got your things. I have my things. Weed was my thing. Seriously. I numbed myself with weed for a long time. Alcohol for a period of time in my life. Tobacco. Sex. I've done it all. Like, that was more my world right there. Your world might look different, but we've all got these things that, instead of facing the shit in our lives, because that shit is not, like, wading through shit. Who wants to wade through shit? It's disgusting. I have an aversion to shit, and I'm not even kidding. I'm not being sarcastic right now. Like, if you've ever gotten, like, poop on your finger, oh God. Oh, it just kills me. So Like we have an aversion to it. We don't want to wade through that. Who wants to do that? But to get through to the other side, you have to. And it's messy. And it's stinky. It's disgusting. I'm hilarious, aren't I? Sitting here talking about shit and God all at the same time. But that's why that's why he put me in this position. Right here, right now. He puts things like, hey, run up to the top of the mountain and record a video about shit and me. Because he wants me to just be me. Just show up as my authentic self. I'm a real freaking dude. Like, I've been through the shit in my life. Real life. And I've had success. Like I've seen things, I've done things. Just a normal guy. I've had faith. I haven't had faith. I've turned my back on God. I'm like, how could he let me go through all of this and still love me or even acknowledge me or like, no, I'm here. Like I said these things to myself and probably sometimes out loud. But I was really active in the church for a long time. Growing up, not at all. My parents took us to church because it was like the cool thing to do. And they probably wanted us to have a foundation or whatever, but it was the Catholic Church. Sorry, Catholicism and Catholic Church, but I do not acknowledge that you are the path forward in this life. That's just me. To each their own. You can practice whatever you want, but all I care about at this point, having gone through all that I've gone through, is just having a direct relationship with God. Like, cut out all the fucking noise, because I don't need the noise. I just need to feel love from God. I just need that connection, and I need him to speak into my life. Not a human that's going to interpret and tell me what to do, which I've had some really good people. I mean, some good pastors, like pastors I really like, great people. But I just don't think I'm going to listen to them anymore. Not that I know better, because they know a lot more about the Bible and, I don't know, learning. But the only person I need to listen to is really God. And he'll show me. He'll tell me what I need to know. So my direct relationship with God is really what I focus on now. And it'll change. I'll evolve over time. Oh, I saw some sunlight peeking out right over there. So I'm feeling like, oh, there it is. The first moments, the sun rises over the mountain in McCall, Idaho, on what I believe is January 17th, 2026. Sometimes, friends, we just have to sit in silence and marvel at God's creation. Because who slows down these days? Who slows down to watch the sunrise? Not me. I told you I haven't done this since I was 19 and I was on drugs that day in Mexico. Real life. See? Real life dude right here. But here I am, sitting on this mountain, watching the sun come up over this mountain and peek through these trees and realize that God made all of this. And he brought me here to this moment to pour into your lives and to just show you that like change and transformation is possible. It's not easy. It's simple because there's just a very simple path for you. But the hard part is making the choice to do it and then putting yourself first, choosing to love yourself. Choosing to love yourself first. And then figure out the rest. Figure out the other people. Figure out, are the people that are in my life, are they worth loving? Truly. Like there are some people in your life that I guarantee they're not worth loving because they don't show you the love that you deserve. And I just want to get a good angle and get this, where is it? Right there. Oh, I wish this was flatter. I can't see it. I think that's good. I don't know. Now I'm just seeing stars a little bit. No, it's over there. But I guarantee that there's some people in your life that you shouldn't be with, you shouldn't love. I was in one of those relationships because I just gave and gave and gave. And she felt like she gave and gave and gave too. Guaranteed. But we were both living in our shadows of ourself that were conditioned by our past, by our really fucked up parents. They've never acknowledged that they have trauma that's buried deep down inside of them that they need to acknowledge and work through and release. So that's the kind of love that I knew. And I chose time and time again dysfunctional love. Exciting, fun, but not love. More like intoxication, obsession. Felt like love though. But that was the time. That was the choice I had to make. To let go. Let go of that feeling of love. Even though it hurt, it still hurts. But I embrace it, and I have a lot of clarity now. I have really good perspective because my brain is just working again. I lived in a fog for so long. I had a very successful business, really successful for years. Like I had one of the top real estate teams in the Northwest for, I don't know, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, long time. And I don't say that to like, oh, pat me on the back. No, just a normal guy who has drive, had ambition, wanted great things for his life, felt it deep down inside of myself. Like I felt it. And I voiced it out loud so many times throughout my life. I said, God, I am just meant for something big. I know I am. Like, I can accomplish big things. And I'd say, I have power inside of me. I would say this. In that last relationship I was in, that was one of the last things I said to her. I remember it. I remember the look on her face. Because I told her that once before. I said, you don't see it, but I have power inside of me. And I just need to find it. I'm stuck. I need help. And what I really needed was love. That was it. That was it. That was it. But I didn't know how to get unstuck at the time. And when I said that to her, I said, I am powerful. I have power inside of me. And she just looked at me. She just looked at me like I was kind of crazy. That's how I felt, at least. Maybe her emotions inside were different, but that's what I felt from her, that look. And I know looks. Like, even in a fog, like, I still have intuition, and I can feel people. Like, I know what people are thinking when they look at me. When I just am in their presence, I can feel their energy. And now it's intense. Like, you better come at me real, because if you don't, like, I will know. I will see inside of you. But I said that to her. And I'd asked for her help when we first moved in together. I'm like, I know what I need. I need somatic work. I need yoga. I need breathing. I need to change my habits. And I go, for whatever reason, and I don't know what it is. Like, I know these things in my mind, and I won't do them. That's called being human and having, like, human limitations. Like, I knew what I needed, and I would not do it. I would not make the choice to do it. I would not. I couldn't, I wouldn't, whatever it was. Like, of course I could. I'm a human being that's physically capable of doing those things, and I knew it, but my brain, there was something inside that wouldn't let me move forward. And I think it was just because I wouldn't put myself first. I wouldn't choose myself, and those things were like, that's choosing myself. And so I had to let go of the shit in my life and the relationships that wouldn't put me first, or wouldn't, like, I don't know, support me in that journey, or love me, or honor me. I had to let them go. It's still fresh and raw. It hurts. I still cry about it sometimes. But part of, like, after I drew a line in the sand, I said, no more. I choose myself. And I'm going to do these things. And I still hurt inside. I still cried sometimes. But one time I did this, I was doing this breath work, and it was like 45 minutes. Oh my God, my toes are cold. But it was 45 minutes. And I hit this point in the breath work, and my face was just like tingling and numb. And it brought me to this, like, unconscious state where I could just release. And I could feel, and I did. Oh, it hurt so bad. But I released that. I released that relationship. I released the anxiety and the lack of love, true love. And I wailed. And in my mind, as I was crying, I was just crying so hard, I thought of the women in the Middle East who just wail, like, their arms are up in the sky, and they're just like shaking and wailing. And I did that. It just came into my mind, and I just did it. And as I was wailing, I was shaking my arms and just sobbing. And if you're watching this and you've known me in my past life, you're like, dude, that's weird. You really did that? And yeah, I really did. And afterwards, like the breath work ended. It was 45 minutes, and I probably went on for another 10, 15 minutes of like that, 10 minutes maybe, seriously, just like wailing and just crying uncontrollably. And then another thing came to my mind, because I'm teaching myself these things. I just watch YouTube, and that's how I've learned how to do somatic work. Nobody's taught me. I knew it's what I needed. I put myself first. I was showing myself love, and I learned. I just watched these videos. But I was learning how humming, how it just releases like that anxiety and the darkness inside of me. And so I was starting to like kind of, no, I probably wasn't even calm at that point. Like I was still wailing, but it just came into my mind. Like I just started humming, and I went, what did I? It was like that. Except for like I had to like go into that moment just now. So it wasn't like a true probably release, but I could actually feel, like I felt the vibrations through my body, and it was releasing something. But in that moment, because I was releasing that past trauma, it released it. And when I was doing that, I was just shaking at the world, and I'm like, get the fuck out of me. And I saw it, and I just like pictured it in my mind, like leaving my body as I was awing. And you don't have to do it perfect. I didn't know what I was doing, but I did it anyways. So God's brought me to this place to talk to you, to talk about my journey. That's it. That's all he's having me do, really. He's like, I just want you to be real. I want you to be authentic. And I just want you to share your story with people as a real human being that fucks up on a regular basis, that swears sometimes, that doesn't do everything right, but has a heart. Like, has a heart that cares. And he said, they'll see that in you. They'll see that in you. And I'm just kind of tapping in. I'm just now learning how to do this and feel and express my love for the world and for people. That's all I'm doing right now. Is that, like, I'm opening people's eyes. And the thing is, we are coming to a point in history where things are about to change dramatically. And I don't say that like, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, why I say it is because, like, it's real, and it's coming, and it's happening, and you're just going to have a choice to make. And the choice that you're going to have to make is between light and dark. Light and dark. Are you going to choose light? Are you going to choose light? Or are you going to choose dark? It's your choice. Completely up to you. I'm just here to show you the difference, because I think that just through this message right now, and I did not plan this. I haven't thought about it. I just came up here and I hit record. But you saw the darkness in me. I bet you felt it. I felt it just talking about it. God, I lived in the darkness for 7 years, like consistently. Before that, like I've always lived in the darkness and the shadows a little bit because I didn't know myself. I didn't know who I was. But for the past 7 years, I've lived in complete isolation, and I called it an ice cave. The emotional neglect caught up to me. I hit a series of dramatic, traumatic events in my life, back to back to back to back to back, and it just broke my spirit, broke me. I was living in a state of chronic freeze, like it's a technical thing, and it stemmed from toxic shame. The shame that I felt in my life for just where I was and all of the buried emotions and everything. Like I just felt shame deep down inside of me, and I quit wanting to face the world because of that shame. But it was a lot of small traumatic events throughout my childhood, throughout my life, that added up, and I hit a tipping point. And once I hit the first probably 2 of those big traumatic events, and one of them was a failed partnership with people who were all godly and said that they called me brother, and then just fucked me over like bad. A lot of money. Hurt. I lost trust in people. Lost trust in the world. But that was the first domino. And then the second was my son, Connor, got cancer, and I retreated. And then every trauma after that, there were a lot more. You mean you like the business deal, the big business deal, a lot of money, and your son getting cancer, that wasn't it? No, it wasn't. I'll just say ALS. Let's see, COVID, getting a divorce, closing my business, and then my kids not talking to me for 3 years because of stupid shit I did. That was my past 7 years. And before that, there's a lot of trauma, but they were smaller. Actually, some of them were big, like the 2006 market crash. That was a big one. That hurt me. God, that was traumatic. That was the first big one. But I'm almost at 50 minutes now. I think I came up here to accomplish what I wanted to accomplish, which was basically just watch the sunrise. And so you got to experience that with me, which is super cool. So thank you for joining me today. Thank you for opening your ears, opening your mind, opening your heart, and listening to just a totally normal, actually, I'm not going to say I'm normal, just listening to a really real dude who has been through the darkness and the light and has perspective and clarity. Hopefully that means something to you, and hopefully it's done something to you and gets you to a point where you can draw a line in the sand and choose healthy relationships, choose a healthy relationship with yourself. Choose yourself first. Choose to love yourself. Don't live in the shadows like I did for so long. Just choose to love yourself today. Draw that line in the sand and know that you're going to have to remove some unhealthy relationships from your life and just be okay with it. And live with the pain and the hurt of it, and find ways to release that pain, release the trauma from your life. Love yourself first, because once you start doing this stuff, God, your life is going to be seriously amazing. It has the potential to be. I mean, you're human. You have choices to make throughout your life. But it could be awesome. And so I'm going to keep doing these. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep showing you like how I've found the light, how I've come out of the darkness, choices that I've made, resources that I've found, things that I've done, practices that I've done. This is what God's telling me to do. Just show them what you've done. Show them how you changed your life and how you're sitting on top of this freaking mountain feeling like amazing. Not perfect, but getting better and getting ready to do some great things, because as I mentioned, the world's changing. The world that we live in is just chaos. And we're about to hit a point in the history of humankind where we're going to have to make a choice between light and dark. And God has told me that I'm here to help you make that choice. And once you make the choice, then be a spark that will create a fire inside of you. And that fire is going to be transformation, awakening. I was brought into this world before I even was an embryo, whatever. God set me aside and he said, you are going to help me awaken the world. And I say that and it's heavy sometimes. It scares the shit out of me. But I believe him. That is a lot of responsibility, God. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm just emptying myself so I can be filled with his light, so I can just let it out in the world and be a light for other people. Oh, so they can feel what I feel now and live a life of meaning and significance. That's what I want for you. Oh, my feet are so numb and so cold. I hope that you have a fabulous day and that you're sitting on a beach somewhere listening to this, because that's, God, I wish I could be there soon, hopefully. But I hope you have a great day. I hope this resonated, just created a spark.